This is Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast, empowering visionary healers, entrepreneurs, and ex-corporates who are ready to actualize their fullest potential through expanding their consciousness and embodied leadership. I'm your host, Gennye Rainbow Anderzon, New Earth business mentor, channel, and master healer, leader of my own business with 20 plus years experience in energy work, mentorship, and coaching. I'm a married mother of two based outside London in the UK. In Visionary New Earth Leaders, we are going to share about world-leading, cutting-edge tools of energy transformation, intuitive and soul-led business and marketing strategies, and innovative, groundbreaking thought leadership, paving the path into the new earth. So if you're ready to step into leadership, this is the vortex supporting leaders and CEOs into the new earth. Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Visionary New Earth Leaders. And today we have a super exciting topic: how to use your spiritual gifts in your current career role or in your business, so actually you can improve your results. So let's dive into this topic. I am so thrilled to be talking to you about this because ultimately, if we could all activate our spiritual gifts, become more intuitive, embodied, grounded, fully embody our soul's mission, each and one of us, this whole world would look so different. We would have such a different experience with people, and just across the globe, things will look very different. So let's dive into this topic. If you don't know me yet and you're just new to the podcast, welcome. So happy to have you here. If you are a dedicated listener, you are always welcome, of course. And I'm going to start with explaining or talking you through a story today, actually, and how I used my spiritual gifts at quite early in life, but at one specific incident which really changed my life. And so I'm going to dive into that. So when I was about sort of 15, 16, I was really excited to learn about astrology, esoteric teachings, etc. And at the time, we are now talking, this was 1990, there wasn't lots and lots available. There were books available, but obviously internet wasn't a big thing. So everything that I ever wanted to learn in terms of esoteric studies was by a book, basically, and go to the library or go to the esoteric bookshop and get some interesting books that really were supporting this interest that I had. So what I did was I was diving in deeply into astrology, into how healing works, how psychic abilities work. I was really trying to, on an intellectual level, really understand what all this, what it means. And what happened as I was diving more into it, I was starting to develop my own spiritual gifts even more and more. And there was one specific incident, there's actually two incidents which I'm going to tell you about. So when I was about 15, 16, I was in college, and I remember there was one of these particular teachers that I didn't really like, and I had actually bunked the lesson. I didn't want to do this lesson. I can't actually remember what it was, the lesson, but it was very boring. Probably something like, computer coding or something like that. It was something I didn't want to do. So I had this feeling. I was like, I don't want to get found out, because obviously it's not very good to be found out because you get told off. And I just had this feeling, you can tune in and learn or know where this person is and make sure you don't get found out. So I remember stopping at the road where I was walking. I was only actually going to some shops. I wasn't completely leaving the building. Well, I was leaving the building, coming back to do more studies, but I kind of just, went down to the shops. Anyway, I just stopped and had this feeling. I was like, don't go to the left, go to the right, because if you go to the left, this man who is my teacher in this particular subject will be there and you'll get found out. So I was like, okay, let's follow it. So I took a right, And then I stood at the corner and I was like hiding behind this bit of, I can't remember if it was like behind a sign or just behind, a building. And I was like peeking out and I was peeking onto where I was. And there he was. I was like, okay, there he is. Oh my God, I can predict, I can predict the future. I'm psychic. I can, look into what's going to happen. Wow, I'm clairvoyant. So that was one incident. And I'm telling you this because, look, we all have these abilities. We all have these psychic abilities, if you like, or intuitive abilities that we can just train up more on. Like we can learn and deepen the connection to the spiritual the more we use it. The second time, this happened many times, different things, but I was going to tell you about another thing today. And this was a time, I was probably about 18 or 19, and I was driving a car like in the middle of the night. I was actually working in it was a hotel, and I was actually working as a croupier, but only at this specific hotel, which I had to drive to. And it was in the middle of the night. I was driving back home after the hotel was closed. I think it was 18 or 19. And I had this really, really strong vision in my head of a moose. And this moose, obviously, it was something I believed I was going to crash into or something. I was like, right, you've got to slow right down, Gennye. So I slowed right down. And my intuition was telling me, you've got to just slow down. And you just got to stay really slow, 5 miles an hour until further notice, sort of thing. And I did. And lo and behold, this huge male moose walked right up to the edge of the road. And I just started crying because I was, oh my God, if I've driven into this thing, I would be dead, literally. Because this is, if you crash with a moose of that size, you will either die or get really seriously injured. So I was like, thank you, angels, for looking after me. Thank you, universe. Thank you. I was just saying thank you really in my mind to say thank you for being still alive. So although this didn't have to do with any business or didn't have to do with anything like that in my career, I carried on using my gifts to make the right decisions in everything that I do. So I suppose these stories, maybe they're a little bit inspiring, but of course, I hope. But I was going to share a little bit how you can start actually really trusting your intuition, trusting your spiritual gifts, trusting what it is that you see, hear, feel, and take action accordingly. So I'll run you through a couple of scenarios that probably is quite helpful. So let's say you are an entrepreneur and you are building your business. You're probably learning lots of different things. You can feel overwhelmed at times because there's so many different things that you want or need to learn. And the pace of building the business can sometimes be overwhelming because we're looking after the clients, we are taking care of the marketing, we're taking care of the business, we're taking care of so many other things. There's other things in your life probably that you need to take care of at the same time. So to find a space to really listen into your intuition and guidance can be quite challenging. And the thing is, we only get those really, really strong guidances when we are a little bit still and quiet. I get them at any time, but I am so accustomed to getting them and I'm so used to using them that I don't think there is any resistance within my being. So therefore it is easy. But for those who feel like it's not so easy for you, perhaps you don't feel like you can connect in this way all the time. The very best, the key here is to create space. It's to create space so that you can breathe, ground, feel, and connect to your intuition, your higher self, the higher mind, whatever you want to call it, God, universe. But you are really wanting to tune into your higher mind, your higher heart, like your higher self, to really hear these messages. And this is the key. And the very place to do it is obviously where you find yourself most comfortable, either maybe in a meditation session or in a quiet space in your office where no one else is, on a walk, maybe when you are, completely still, basically, and everything, all distractions are turned off. How that looks for you is, unique to you. But this piece to make the space and actually listen in is the most important thing you could ever do in your business. And if you are an executive or you're working in a company right now and you're a leader, because I speak to leaders, or you're a CEO of your bigger company, you work for a big company, if you can create this space of mind space and thought space, energy space, that will really create some huge changes and shifts for you, because you are then allowing the higher mind to connect with your heart, and you're allowing this bigger picture coming to you in a way that you don't when you are in your head all the time trying to make everything work, and you are maybe against deadlines, things, you're moving fast perhaps, and then that space is not created, and then that connection is not really that easy to create. So wherever you are, if you're in your business or in your leadership position, this is the most important thing. And I know it sounds really simple, and I know that some of you do it already, and you may think, well, I am doing that, but I'm not getting anything. Well, then my advice for you is to basically ask the questions. Say, higher self, I would like a download or an instruction of what I'm meant to be doing next on this particular thing. So you can be really specific. You can actually say, higher self, I command a download or a solution on this specific thing. And then just wait. And sometimes you think, well, how long should I wait for? Well, just in the beginning, be patient. Maybe wait for 5 to 10 minutes. And if nothing happens, try again the next day. Wait. And you will be getting these instructions and downloads. So when you got a good swing on that, I would then obviously always make notes. I make notes. So when I get these downloads, I make notes, and then I make sure I action those. So the next thing is, you've written the note, what it is you're meant to be doing, and then you would then apply your sort of strategic mind, or you will look at your marketing calendar, or you will look at the things in your business when this is a good idea to now implement this. Because obviously if your day is full and blocked with clients, or you have a full calendar day, you wouldn't start going and action a new thing that day. Obviously you would find a space to do that. So then it's your strategic mind comes in, and then start deciding when and how this is going to happen, and start creating it. And sometimes I wait 48 hours. So I get the download, I write it down, and then I just wait. Because sometimes your higher mind or your higher self have this huge grand plan for you, which is amazing. But unfortunately, the life here on earth is a little bit slower than, in the higher dimensions and in the quantum field. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer to make it happen and implement it than you would like it to. So just know that the pace in the higher dimensions in the quantum field is much faster than the pace here on earth. That doesn't mean things can't manifest quickly, but if you're meant to start up a new membership or a new group program, or simply set up a live event to do speaking, it's going to take a bit of time and organizing to make that happen, right? It's not going to, just because you got it today, it's not going to happen tomorrow. So there is this delay in the 3D process. But just make sure, I would recommend give yourself 48 hours and then come back to the idea, because sometimes as well, some of you will then start getting loads of downloads. And you may be thinking, oh my God, I'm getting 10. Which one am I supposed to be doing? That's where this discernment and feeling into your brand and feeling into your voice, into your message, What is it that you stand for? And if you're working for a company, what are the values? Like, what seems to be aligned to where you're standing right now? So that's a really, really important piece. So I used to action things quite quickly because I'm a generator, and I've got a 12-3 in my soul contract, which means I'm quite expansive, quite dynamic person. So I would just go and action it, but I don't do that now. So I just wait 48 hours, then I come back to it, and then I start implementing the things that feels really aligned. So I've got away with this now because I've been doing it for so long. But if you're just starting to do this, or if you want to get started, start getting real good space for the downloads. Make that space, make it a habit, a commitment, and then start taking the notes, and then really weed out which ones you're not meant to be doing, and then stick with the ideas that you're meant to be doing. And that is, again, you use your intuition for that and you feel into that. So, I mean, there are a few different aspects that I use and also with my clients. So I'm a generator, which means that when I get an invitation this is human design. If I get an invitation from somewhere else outside of me, a person or an event or something, and I get an invitation to go, I am meant to just wait and then respond to it, either no or yes. I give myself 48 hours to do that because I have an 11-2 in my soul contract, which means that I can be quite sporadic and impulsive. And I'm meant to be waiting to feel in if it's a constant yes. So this is also a constant yes in my sacral with a generator, like an expansive feeling. And if it feels constant and expansive constantly for 48 hours every time I check in, it is a 100% yes. So I use that strategy. And so if you are, whatever you are in human design, why don't you drop it below or send me a message? What human design are you? And if you know your soul contract, do you have an 11-2? Let me know. And if you don't know, you can contact me. We can figure out what you got. But with the 11-2, yes. So that's a really important piece of my decision-making process. So when you start using your intuition and then take action and implement based upon those downloads, you will see huge results, in your business, in your leadership, in your wealth making as well. Because often I get these downloads to put an offer out, and it could be a small offer. So it could be something like put an offer out, £44 for a group healing. And last time I did that and I got that inkling to do it, I got 22 people within 2 days to sign up. So it was a good financial download as well. So a good financial injection in the business for just, one little idea I got. So you're meant to sort of go with it and, really implement and be quite dynamic with it. I do wait for 2 days always because of my 11-2. And then I action it. Sometimes I don't wait for 48 hours, depending what it is. And that could be me just, I suppose, responding to a message, or that is really nice. I wouldn't wait 48 hours to respond to all my messages. If it is a message that is quite complicated, or it needs my attention on a deep level, I wait for 48 hours to make sure I give them the right response. So this is just a little bit snippet out of how I do things. And I really recommend you start using this way in your business and in your leadership, in your role, in your career. So you can apply this method to everything, whether you should go for a promotion, whether you should bring this other person into your team, whether you should launch this new program, whether you should pair up with this associate, like so many different ways you can use this. Should you start a podcast? When should you start it? Like ask for the answer, like wait for the answers to come, and then action it. And guess what? Every time you do this, it propels you towards your success and your goals a lot quicker than you was a pure mind decision. And often the mind decision is fear-based anyway, because the mind will try to reason and rationalize things, which is more of a contracted, fear-based, just more contracted sort of way of looking at things. While it's the heart and the soul and your higher self will be like, no, this is right, this is right, this is expansive, do it now. Then that's much more usually lucrative, creates more income, wealth, and those things in your business, and bigger opportunities, just exactly the right people coming into your fields, and into your life and into your world. And that's like flow, that's flow. So if you enjoyed this episode, why don't you share it and, leave a comment, leave a lovely review for me, please. Send it to a friend. And for those who are interested to work with me on all these things, I am now offering a new package, which is it's a quantum life coaching package and a quantum business coaching package. So I'm very excited about it. I'm going to drop the link below as well, and you can apply. I'm just so excited. So I would love to have you there. If you have any questions and you just want to book an alignment call and talk about your goals and some strategies moving forward and see if we can work together, that's also absolutely fine. And I'll drop the link below as well. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you really, really soon. Thank you for listening to Gennye Lyon's Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast. If you're ready to rewire your subconscious mind, clear your programming and collective conditioning, transform your trauma into trust, and step into your soul's calling and true leadership, or if you're ready to unlock your fullest potential through activating your light body and expand your consciousness exponentially, detangle and clear your past life karma and Akashic records, and setting up for success, launch your online spiritual business, and so much more, then go to gennylyon.love. And if you're receiving value from the show, I would love if you would share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, you can join me in one of my live free trainings, and you can find it right on the website, as well as in the link in my bio across all social media. I am Gennye Lyon across all platforms. I wish you a blessed day, and may you live your most authentic self.